to Blue Jays Today, where today, folks, on our Blue Jays Today show, we have an awesome announcement that y'all have probably heard, and you've heard of it. The Toronto Blue Jays are acquiring Jordan Hicks from the St. Louis Cardinals. A big bullpen piece the Blue Jays are adding. We're going to break down what does this mean for the Jays, who's leaving, who's coming in return, who's coming off the 40-man roster, and what does this mean for the future of the Jays looking ahead and maybe possibly into the next year. I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlock, and let me tell you guys, that Blue Jays bullpen starting to look a little bit scary back there, everybody. Let's take a look right now and flip over to the trade that we are referring to. This is the first tweet that Jeff Hassan tweeted out. There's been more updates since then, but the Toronto Blue Jays are finalizing a trade to acquire right-handed reliever Jordan Hicks from the St. Louis Cardinals, sources tell ESPN. And then let's flip over to the next tweet that actually talks about what we gave up, which is that one right there. Pitchers, Adam Kloffenstein, who has actually been on this show. He has been on Blue Jays Today before. Love the kid. He is going to St. Louis. And Sam Bears, who I know a lot of you guys are probably pretty familiar with. He is one of the Blue Jays' top-ranked prospects. He is also going to St. Louis as well. That is the number 7 guy on our list, Adam Kloffenstein. He is not in the top 30 anymore, but still, you know, a dude who potentially has some upside, right? So that is what we're going to give up. And we're going to get into whether or not we think that this deal was worth it for the Cardinals and for the Toronto Blue Jays. But first things first, let's just take a look at Jordan Hicks and see what it is that we are getting on these Toronto Blue Jays. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, Jordan Hicks, everybody knows, a big flamethrower in that St. Louis Cardinals bullpen. But this year, the whip has been pretty high. It's 1.512. He's thrown 41 innings so far. The strikeout numbers are really good. 59 strikeouts in that 41 innings. 3.67 ERA is what he has. So he obviously has some experience closing. He has experience going late in games. And if you look over, I believe it's right here. No, not right here. Where's his reference page? Baseball reference. I don't have it right here, folks. But he does have the flamethrower. Let me actually find it for y'all, because that is going to be key to know how he's kind of expected to play in Major League Baseball. Yeah, he is absolutely a strikeout machine, guys. I mean, the velocity is some of the best we've ever seen in the MLB. Like, this dude regularly hits 102, 103 even on the radar gun, and you're seeing it right there with a 92% K rate. So he's right up there. And the expected batting average, the expected slugging, the barrel percentage, effectively everything that talks about him getting a hit is incredible. Clearly, just looking at these statistics alone, a little bit of a walk issue. That's probably why the whip is a little bit higher than not, right? When he pumps it in the zone, you are incapable of hitting it, but when you misses, he's going to give up some walks. So that's part of his game where he's definitely going to need to improve. But again, a 202 expected batting average against. And this is a dude that we've been talking about, that we've been screaming about for a really long time on the Toronto Blue Jays. We were hoping that it was going to be Nate Pearson, and it has been to an extent. But having a guy who's capable of coming in the late innings, maybe when you're in a jam, maybe when you need to set up for Mr. Jordan Romano, and just gas it past the elite hitters of the game and get some strikeouts, that is what Jordan Hicks is going to do. Absolutely. And now, speaking of Jordan Romano, now that he's hit the 15-day IL, Jordan Hicks probably has the most closing experience in that Toronto Blue Jays bullpen. Actually, he does have the most closing experience in that Blue Jays bullpen. Yeah. He's immediately slotting into that closing role. And I think if you're Pete Walker, again, like we're talking about, that one problem of the walks, if you can try and just figure out that walk, that command issue, then wow, you have someone with so much upside, so much potential. Because if you just put it in the zone, no one's going to hit you. Yeah. So just clean up the walks. That's the one concern. And we see someone in the chat, just to refresh you guys, we gave up our number 7 prospect right here in Sam Bears and Adam Kloffenstein, who actually was a top prospect at one point, not anymore. So for me, this feels like a pretty even trade. Now, you also got to consider, how long do you have him? It's just this season, folks. He's going to be a free agent this season, so you're just getting Jordan Hicks for maybe 15, 20 innings. Depends if you go to the playoffs. So you are setting your number 7 prospect for 15, 20 innings. How do you feel about the cost for him? Listen, I mean, you got to give up something to get something, right? And I saw a tweet. I didn't actually pull it up there, but I saw a tweet coming from Ben Nicholson-Smith and Jeff Passan, who were both saying, I mean, if Josh Hader isn't available, then Jordan Hicks immediately becomes one of the best bullpen arms that you can have on this tradable market, right? And it fits our needs really perfectly because we do want that high velocity because you have a lot of other guys, like Tim Mason, like Swanson, who can deal around people, right? Who can kind of play around the edges and stuff like that. But I love having the ability to then throw in now a Jordan Hicks that can just gas it past you. So that works really well for me. And Sem Roberts, I was starting to get a little high on him. Like, he was definitely an exciting prospect. Obviously, Adam Kloffenstein, just a nice dude in general. We love Adam Kloffenstein on this channel. But you know what? Got to give up something to get something. There are other pitchers that are higher up in our prospect system. Freaking Ricky Tiedemann, Brandon Barrero.
Thank God, we got to keep those guys.
For Zuleta. You didn't give up any of those top 3 pitching prospects right there. You gave up your 4th pitching prospect to get one of the better swing and miss closers in the entire Major League Baseball. So, from that standpoint, if it's only 1 year, I'm okay with it, man.
Yeah, if we want to make a competitive season out of this season right now, you need a shutdown bullpen when it comes to the playoffs, and we've been asking for this. And now, and I love this tweet right here that you got, just thinking about the Blue Jays bullpen, you have Romano, Swanson, you're going to get Chad Green back.
Yeah.
Tim Mesa, one of the best, most underrated bullpen arms in the league. Jackson, breakout star. We're depending on this guy in a close ball game, literally a tie ball game today in the 8th inning to get out of it. You got Hicks, who we just traded for, one of the more reliable, gassing bullpen arms in the game. Cabrera's looking good as a lefty option, and then Garcia is your last guy.
Yeah.
And you see now you've cleaned out all the junk in that bullpen, and you're getting a pretty dominant bullpen.
No, I think that basically all the crap is gone.
All the crap's gone.
Every single one of those players can come out and can play ball. You know what I mean? They can play some good freaking baseball, folks. And to have that as a strength for these Toronto Blue Jays is something that I think that in my tenure of being a Blue Jays fan, I don't know if I've ever witnessed the Toronto Blue Jays as potentially maybe their best asset being their bullpen.
The bullpen.
And that
100%.
might be what this team is, right? Because your offense, it's good, but it's not as good as it's been in years past.
100%.
And the pitching, it's also pretty good. But when you look at that bullpen and you got multiple guys chilling around the 2 ERA mark, you got guys of different calibers who can paint the edges, who can also get the strikeouts. So different people for different roles. You got a locked-in closer. You got a locked-in setup man. It looks deep.
Dude, and I think what John Schneider's going to do with that bullpen, bro, is he's going to utilize it how he sees fit. Just for example, today, we got Ohtani, he's a lefty, or I'm going to pump Cabrera, and I'm going to pump Tim Mesa at him.
Yeah.
You don't have Jordan Romano right now, who are you going to set up for the closing job, right? You can really be flexible all around this Blue Jays bullpen. It's marvelous. Now, we were talking about cleaning out the junk. Who are we going to get rid of, Nick?
Somebody's going to need to go. You pull up our 40-man roster right now. Let me just shout out the 343 people watching this stream right now. Guys, can we bump this thing up to 69 likes for Jordan freaking Hicks, everybody? Toronto Blue Jays, big electric trade. They want to make this a historic second half, folks. So smash that like button. We got to smash this thing right up to 69. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Flipping over to the 40-man roster. Obviously, this means that somebody needs to go. It's not going to be any of the names that we just listed off there on Twitter. It's going to be somebody lower. And I think the chat and myself, and you probably agree, the Mitch White experiment has come to a close.
Absolutely. And if you got to narrow it down, right? You're not getting rid of Hagen Danner. You haven't seen him. You're still trying to build prospect on him. Bowman Francis, he has options. Thomas Hatch, he has options, and he's a longer bullpen guy. Zach Pop, you obviously want to bring back. You like him. He's rehabbing. He's in the minors. And then you really come down to it. You don't want to give up your number 3 prospect, of course. It's Mitch White with 0 options left. Has not helped the Blue Jays at all. Bringing him into a ball game essentially means we're losing, we're giving up right now, or we're desperate to get any sort of runs or save any sort of runs, and it doesn't work. We've just seen it not happening. You can't give up Jay Jackson. He's been electric. He's been such a surprise for that Blue Jays bullpen. You just got Genesis Cabrera, who's proving why he needs to stay on the team as a second left-handed option. It's obvious. Mitch White's got to go. If we don't see that we're cutting him tomorrow, if I don't see that DFA option, I don't know what the hell they're trying to do.
I completely agree with you, and I think that at this point, it just is pure logic, right? This team now, with the additions that we're making, with just the overall like last month and a half of baseball that this squad has played, best record in the American League. That's something that's an underrated statistic. But they've been really good in the American League in the last month and a half. This is a squad that now is built to win. Every single person on your team, they need to be winners, and they need to be contributing in some capacity, right? That is cleaning up the bullpen, folks.
Oh, yeah.
This just cleaned up the entire bullpen, and now I am loving what this Toronto Blue Jays have when we get to the bullpen. In fact, I'm going to be excited now to watch our starter leave the game, because I know that we're going to have a bunch of these flamethrowers come in and just absolutely knock out the opposing competition.
Dude,
right? So Mitch White's gone.
Going 5 innings, going 4 innings isn't as detrimental as it was before, because now we literally, who's our garbage guy? Jimmy Garcia, who gave up 2 runs today, but I'm still happy with Jimmy Garcia coming out in a desperate situation. That's amazing.
Cabrera, right? It's like that's who it is, right? And so far he's been lights out.
Amazing.
Jimmy Garcia is starting to turn it around as well. So Jordan Hicks to the Jays, blockbuster deal. I really hope that we can turn him around, guys, because he has such high potential.
Next thing, really quick. What's our next move? We cleaned up the bullpen. We're probably not going to trade for another bullpen guy.
No,
what's the next move?
I don't think so. The problem is we will not be able to acquire the starting pitcher off of the St. Louis Cardinals if that's what we were doing. Because right when we got the news that Jordan Hicks was going, it was also revealed that the Texas Rangers have gone absolutely insane crazy mode and have traded for Jordan Montgomery. This is a day after that they also traded for Max Scherzer. They are putting every single chip that they have into the middle and saying, we are going to win this goddamn thing. We are the team to beat in the American League. And St. Louis has effectively cleaned house at this point. And if they are not willing to trade Nolan Arenado, most of the deals that they're going to be making, they're already done.
Yeah, they're pretty much done. And Rangers, again, like you're saying, solidifying that. That was just breaking right after the news. So, we can't get Jordan Montgomery. He was literally us at Blue Jays today favorite target. I mean, you have a 6-man rotation right now. We're going to see how it works with Ryu coming up on Tuesday. What other... you got Marcus Stroman left. Maybe you get Blake Snell left. Do you see a big piece coming like that for the Toronto Blue Jays?
It's possible. It is definitely possible. But I think, as a lot of people have said, the focus is starting to switch over to that hitting side of things, right? And the rumors are now Cody Bellinger, a player that would have been really nice to see in Toronto Blue Jays boo. He is probably not going. And I know you keep bringing up Marcus Stroman, but if the Chicago Cubs aren't going to sell, he's not going anywhere, right? So he's not going anywhere either, right? So those 2 players right there on the Cubs who would have been beautiful in Toronto, they're probably staying put. On a batting side of things, unless you're going for Juan Soto, which I do not think that the Toronto Blue Jays are going to do, we're going to need to be looking at some other options. I know that Tim Anderson's name has come up a bunch, and a name that is starting to become up very recently is Tommy Pham on the New York Mets. Pham, one of the only bright spots there on the New York Mets, a very tradable piece for these New York Mets, who have already confirmed that they are, in fact, going to be sellers by shipping off Max Scherzer to the Texas Rangers yesterday. So they are absolutely in full up sell mode, and this is definitely a dude who they're going to sell because he's having, a phenomenal year. Shout out and thank you to whoever just subscribed or donated. You are incredible. He's having, a phenomenal season, batting .270, .824 OPS, and this is the last year of his deal.
Yeah, it is.
What do you think about Tommy Pham? What do you think about the rumors that the Blue Jays are in on him and that he could be imminently traded in the next 24, 48 hours?
I think it's very likely, folks. I mean, the conversation for the last little bit is we need guys to hit lefties. I'm already seeing shout out, thank you, whoever just donated or just subscribed. Look at this. Tommy Pham hits lefties for an 871 clip on the OPS category. The batting average is a little bit lower, but he's got the pop. And that's something we need. We need more pop in that lineup, and bringing in Tommy Pham, who we said probably a month ago now at this point, we said this is a target that Blue Jays need to be targeting. And it's holding up because of the way he handles the left-handers, right? So I think it's a very cheap kind of deal. You could probably send over, if that's the price for a Jordan Hicks for that kind of level, I could see another low top 10 prospect for the Blue Jays. You can give up a younger, someone like a Cade Doughty. I don't even know.
Sure.
Right? You give him someone in the lower part of your system and like someone else, like a throw in like a Kloffenstein, not even in the top 30. That would be really, really ideal. And I think that in itself, without getting a starting pitcher, that would, I think, complete the Toronto Blue Jays trade deadline.
And you know what? And that also, you're taking the mentality of that we're only giving up prospects, right? What I witnessed today was in a key moment. In the Toronto Blue Jays game where they could have won the game. You had Vladimir Guerrero Jr. come up. He came clutch. He got a hit. I'm talking about the 10th inning right now, guys. Bottom of the 10th inning. He came up with a single. Then you had Matt Chapman come up clutch. He was able to get on base as well. And then, I think it was, I don't remember exactly, it was after Chapman, but in a key situation, it was Cavan Biggio.
Oh, no, Springer.
Then it was Cavan Biggio. In a key situation, you had Cavan Biggio come up, and you had about four fastballs in a row. One of them went for a ball. The other ones he swung on, and he missed on every single one of them, man. If we're talking about this team going deep and making it so that there are no holes anymore and that every single player on this team is contributing to the winning mentality right now, imagine if in that situation right there, it was Tommy Pham that was coming up to the dish instead of Cavan Biggio. Whit Merrifield, you are locked in as the second baseman now. You are not playing any more of this outfield because he's been doing that a lot. He did that today, right? You had Espinal doing second. I could see a reality where Cavan Biggio, considering he still does have some upside, potentially not on the Toronto Blue Jays, on a different ball club, he could find a home at a different location, such as the New York Mets, in a deal for a Tommy Pham. Come at me in the comments if you feel like it. I can see something like that happening.
Cavan Biggio, I'll even throw out Santiago Espinal right now. Like those are the two guys who have a little bit of control, would be very enticing as a return piece. If you're going to trade anybody on the active roster, those two guys would be enticing for someone like the Mets. Maybe you need someone coming off the bench. Maybe you allow them to play every day. You get a little bit more upside from them. That's a very enticing option to send the other way in return for someone who can play right now. Because, the only reason why Cavan Biggio was in that game in the first place was to pinch run.
Yes.
Okay, well, you throw in Tommy Pham or you throw in anybody else who can have wheels and also have a bat as well.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
And that is the issue right now. We would have won that game, I think, had you had a more, and I don't want to crap on Biggio. This is no hate Biggio stream. I think that Biggio's got a lot of potential. I just think it's not working out in Toronto. But if we had somebody more capable with the baseball bat in that situation, maybe we bring out the brooms instead of just taking 2 out of 3, right? And that's going to be the difference when we are in the postseason. Right now, now Jordan Hicks is going to come out. He's going to do his job.
Absolutely.
He's going to do his job against the top of the lineup, right? Are the bats going to be able to in the middle of that lineup? I think that Tommy Pham or even a Lane Thomas, which people have been throwing out a lot, either one of these options would be phenomenal for the Toronto Blue Jays to go after, and I think that is going to be our next target. We're not done yet, folks. We're definitely not done.
No. Like, definitely looking at the bats, and we're going to be going live again, guys. For everyone who's just tuning in, 425 of y'all in here, drop a like on the stream, hit that subscribe button. Guys, we're going to be going live again tomorrow. We're still going live. Don't go anywhere. And we're going live all day Tuesday. So we got to be finalizing those final pieces. I think it's going to come down to the wire. Like, who's left? Who's available for these Blue Jays?
I agree.
Because, again, if you are looking at Lane Thomas, you got to see what the price is going to be on him because if people are asking, if people are knocking on the door, how much are we going to have to give up to get a Lane Thomas? It's going to be a lot more than Sam Roberts.
Probably a lot more than Sam Roberts if you are going that route. Tommy Pham would definitely be a lot cheaper. 428 people watching right now. Guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. So close to 15.5K subscribers. Let's take a moment right now and look over at those MLB standings, dude. I want to look at this wild card because I'm starting to get a little concerned about those Texas Rangers, for instance. I know that, we're not worrying about them necessarily for making postseason, but they are looking like an absolute menace when the playoffs do come around. Baltimore, we're going to get to them because the upcoming week is going to be all up against Baltimore. But the Toronto Blue Jays this past week did what they needed to do against the LA Angels. LA decided, for whatever reason, we're going to buy in. It's going to be really cute and awesome. We're going to make Shohei Ohtani feel happy. All the power to you guys, but this weekend, not your weekend, everybody. Toronto Blue Jays proved why you needed to sell off Shohei Ohtani, why you were not going to be taking our freaking playoff spot.
Dude, it's pretty ballsy. I'll give the LA Angels that. Like, buying in, they bought Escobar before, they bought Moustakas around the exact same time, then buying in Lucas Giolito. I got to give them some credit. I mean, they're chilling 4 games above 500, but here's the problem. You got the Yankees who just got Judge back. You got the Boston Red Sox, like you're saying, that just don't want to go away. And then literally you have us, Houston, and Tampa Bay. All 6 5 teams ahead of you. Do you think, and you still got the Seattle Mariners just chilling there, even though they're kind of on the cusp of selling, you have basically the last team that's buying in. Gotta give them some credit, but yeah, they needed to beat us this weekend, and they could not do it, and kind of proves, like, I'm feeling pretty secure. No matter who you're buying, we can win games. We beat up Giolito, no problem.
Yeah, no, I do like our chances right now. It's a very tight American League, though. I mean, anything can happen. The New York Yankees, I wouldn't be surprised if they go, crazy, insane mode this trade deadline and buy a bunch of different pieces and make that late season push. And the Boston Red Sox, they have been a thorn in our side. Toronto Blue Jays have a series against them this upcoming week, which is going to be absolutely massive.
Absolutely. And also, I want to look at the AL East right here, folks. Like, you have Baltimore Orioles who are, you think that the Yankees are going to be buying in. Like, I think there's more rumors out there that the Baltimore Orioles, they are going after guys that we really want.
They are, dude. They are. They were in the conversations for Jordan Montgomery, which obviously they didn't manage to pull that trigger. But I have heard about Michael Lorenzen quite frequently. They're in that conversation as well. And again, if the Toronto Blue Jays are going to be going after somebody, No, that's something. The Rangers got somebody else instead of with Jordan Montgomery. Chris Stratton. I'm not super familiar. A lower guy though. But if the Toronto Blue Jays do want to go for a starting pitcher, Michael Lorenzen feels like that next type of dude. Baltimore's 100% going to be in there. They're going to be buying all the freaking way. Yeah, and like Tampa Bay, like, don't count them out. They always do some sneaky, like, low-key buy somewhere in there. I mean, not the guys that the Toronto Blue Jays might be going for, but they're still going to be active. Yeah, they're 3-7. Their pitching staff is literally injured. They're in the hospital, all of them right now. So they need to go and get those starting pitchers too. And speaking about people in the hospital, guys, just cycling this all back to the Jordan Hicks trade, right? This is perfect for when Jordan Romano is going to be on the IL, because he's got 15 days, and what's really good about this, right, is because he is injured, he's going to be recovering. Maybe after those 15 days, he's feeling better, he's feeling good, but he's not 100% up to game speed. Well, you don't need to rush him into these critical situations off the hop, because now you still got Jordan Hicks, you still got Eric Swanson, you still got the rest of this bullpen capable of handling that until you are 100% sure that Jordan Romano has his stuff back. I think that's what they're going to play it. They got to play it day to day, how you feeling, because if he is feeling 100, like, I feel like just based on seniority, they're going to throw him back. They will. They'll throw him back in that. But yeah, if he isn't, like you're saying, it gives you lots of options. You don't want to rush somebody, especially late in the season like this, because the last thing we need is a nagging injury with a Jordan Romano, and this is some big insurance for that. We're going to be talking about the Baltimore Orioles series, the Boston Red Sox series coming up, but first, let's do a quick weekend review here, folks. 2 out of 3 against the Angels, 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers, both LA teams. Toronto was capable of handling. We were very close to getting the sweep this past, literally today. Incapable of doing it, but still a good week as a whole. What are some notes from this past week? Yeah, honestly, the hitting really came through this week. A lot of breakout guys this week. Just taking a look over here, I'm using MLB for these stats nowadays because this is fully up to date. Yeah. Bo Bichette, he hit 480 this week. Like, he was absolutely locking in. Remember after one cold week where he had like 4 hits the entire week? He turns around and gets 12. He had to make up for it, right? He had to make up for it. You're going to get it one week or the other. It just happened to be this week. Absolutely. You got Matt Chapman coming with the power again. He's got the OPS, had a really good week last week. Guerrero, quieter week, but, he still had some pretty clutch hits. Danny Jansen, he provided some great support. And also Whit Merrifield, guys, like, just absolutely phenomenal. Ever since moving to that leadoff spot, I mean, he was doing well before, but moving to that leadoff spot, that has been a change the Blue Jays needed. Having him, Bo Bichette being the table setters. Now, I think the Blue Jays actually underperformed based on what they did this week with the offense, because the table setters were getting on. That middle of the lineup was kind of cold in terms of the batting average. You had Chapman, Guerrero, around the 250, 238 mark. And then George Springer, this is the big thing to note. Not a single hit this week. Literally 0 for 24. Yeah. Is that concerning to you? I mean, is that concerning to me? He was hitting the ball really well today. He was hitting the ball really well today, so it could just be a mixture of getting unlucky. It's also, too, you're putting him in a position where he's never been before. I do just want to take a quick note and just say, it is official. Mitch White gone.
Let's go.
He is off the team, guys.
Let's go.
He has been designated for assignment, everybody. That was literally tweeted out about 56 seconds ago. Scroll down one more. There it is.
Oh, here we go.
There it is, folks.
Here
Mitch
we
White
go.
has been designated for assignment. Adam was talking about it. Well, I better see it tomorrow.
I'll see it now.
You're seeing it right now,
Let's
dude.
go.
Blue Jays, they're tired of it. They don't want to waste any more time. Sorry, Mitch White.
Wow.
The experiment just did not pan out. I'm interested to see if somebody picks him up.
I am interested to see, because if you pick him up, here's the problem. Like, you have no options now. You have to play him.
Yeah.
He's your everyday guy. So, like, the only teams that can pick up are, like, the Tigers if they trade Lorenzen.
Yeah.
Like, the Pirates. You know, like, you're looking at teams that are going to service a guy who just did not have it.
No.
Just did not have it
This year
at all.
was not the year, man. It's really too bad. Like, he was doing well over there in the Dodgers when he was there. Came to Toronto, clearly just did not work with us. So
No.
I hope, hope for the best, man. You know what? Like, it was a good ride.
GG.
But you're done. You're done for the Toronto Blue Jays, and now we get a absolute 102 mile per hour flamethrower in Jordan Hicks coming back. No more holes in this bullpen.
You love it, man. Oh, I love it. The Blue Jays are going to have an exciting next 2 months, folks. I'm very excited.
Coming back to this week, looking at George Springer, I'm curious to hear in the chat, guys, are you concerned at all about George Springer and like what they're doing right now with this changing of the lineup? Obviously, Whit Merrifield thriving in that leadoff position. This dude batted .464 this past week.
Incredible.
And one thing that I noted, the second that we put him in that leadoff spot, and I said this, I tweeted it out right at the time, and then I was saying it when I was live too, he is a threat to steal, and that's what we want to see. And immediately when I said it, boom, stole a base. They managed to pressure them into an error, made it over to third base as well. That is the difference that Whit Merrifield provides at the top of the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only guy who had a stolen base this week. And I think when you have a middle of the lineup that has struggled from time to time with the Toronto Blue Jays, like, getting him in scoring position, him, Bo Bichette, even though Bo barely steals this year, like, you got some wheels up there, and it's a great addition, because when you look at George Springer, like, his profile is 5-hitter. I slug, my average is dropping, I'm getting older, I don't have the legs like I do anymore.
Yep.
Just be that 5-hitter, and I'm hoping he can adjust. I hope it doesn't get to him mentally, because he's gone 0-4 like his last little bit.
Yes,
you know what I mean? So I hope that he can adjust to it. I think he's going to be fine. I think this is a much better looking Blue Jays lineup, especially now when you got those catchers. Like, those guys are popping off this week.
Both of them. Hats off to Alejandro, Captain Kirk, 333 batting average, came up clutch yesterday, man. 1.212 OPS. Woo-wee! Let's go, baby. And then you had Danny Jansen, too. He didn't have as much high of an average, but still with the 982 OPS. Insane slug from Dirty Hands. For everybody who said, oh, we needed Moreno, you know? Yeah. Listen, I wish the best for Gabriel Moreno. Absolutely. I hope that he becomes the next freaking... God damn it. What's his name?
Buster Posey.
Buster Posey over there on Arizona. But listen, man, we got our own collective Buster Posey in Danny Jansen and Alejandro Kirk. And I hope, I pray, I expect to see a lot of Toronto Blue Jays games where both of them in the lineup, just like today.
Yeah, guys, honestly, a lot of guys popped off. Pitching was very solid this week, but you got to give it to the offense. So one of these players is going to win J of the Week. I got it picked out. I had to make a selection.
All right.
Let's do it, guys.
Shout out to the J of the Week.
All right. Now, the J of the Week, very hard, as you guys saw. Lots of OPSs in the 1,000 right there. But I had to make a choice. This guy led the team in runs, led the team in RBIs, and also had an OPS close to 1.2, and that is Whit Merrifield. Whit Merrifield, deservingly so.
Yeah, listen, folks. I keep using this. I keep saying it, and I'm gonna keep saying it, man. Last year, trade deadline, we make the deal for Whit Merrifield. We were,
we're all right. We're feeling okay about it.
Blue Jays community was like, kind of excited.
Yeah.
But look at how it turned out, right? Trades take a long time to develop, you know. Hell, even Varsho, who knows what's going to happen after this, right? He could absolutely explode, right? But Whit Merrifield found himself in Toronto, and he just absolutely, revitalized his career. 2-hit Whit. We might need to start calling this guy 3-hit Whit because he's just that good at baseball.
Dude, Buddy was batting close to 500 at one point in the last 7 days this week, so he's a phenomenal player. And another conversation, honestly, folks, that me and Nick have already been talking about is what are we gonna do about that contract? Do we extend this contract? Do we renegotiate it? Because I love Whit Merrifield. I think he's got at least 2 more years left in that bat.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I mean, he's definitely, what he's doing this season so far is far too good to even consider having him leave your team. I'm just like praying that he continues doing incredible and we can keep him on it, man. But like, what a change he has made to this team so far.
Absolutely. All right. Why don't we get into the future predictions?
Let's do it, everybody. Let's do it, guys. Obviously, Blue Jays make the big trade for Jordan Hicks, but who is his competition going to be? He's on the plane right now, probably doing the scouting report on the Baltimore freaking Orioles. And this is going to be a tough test for Jordan Hicks, for the Toronto Blue Jays as a whole, man. This entire week is AL East rivals. Shout out and thank you to the person who just subscribed. W's in the chat for everybody who subscribed to this channel, guys. 15.5K is the goal. I know that we can get there. Big week, Orioles 4-game series. What are your thoughts?
It's tough, bro. Yeah, you can't see it right there, but that Monday game, we go right into it. They're coming into town. It's going to be tough, guys. Like we said, they are the #1 team to go after. They are going to be buying in. They might be adding a pitcher that's going to play in this week. So the pitching matchups, we have no freaking idea. But right now, we've got Chris Bassett up against Gibson, who is apparently like one of the best players so far this year.
Yes,
in the month of July.
Very, very good. He's been having an incredible second half. That's something that Baltimore Orioles needed badly, right? Because their offense was carrying them. If they get the pitching as well, holy moly. Shout out and thank you to the person who just subscribed as well.
Guys, and then we got a big debut. Mark this on your calendar. Not only is it trade deadline day, but it's Hyunjin Ryu season debut day.
Dude, Hyunjin Slim Ryu, baby. Oh, 30 pounds down, feeling like an absolute menace, everybody. It almost feels like you traded for him. I am so hyped for Hyunjin freaking Ryu, man.
I agree, man. He's going to go up against Bradish. He's a pretty solid pitcher for those Baltimore Orioles. And then you got Kikuchi going up against Rodriguez. He's been struggling in his first season debut. And then Kevin Gausman versus Wells to round it off. Those are 2 very good pitching matchups right there. Games at home at the Rogers Center coming off the trade deadline. What are your predictions for this week?
Yo, Hunslim Ryu for the complete game shutout. Who says no? Who says no? Back.
I would never say no.
Force, man. Dude, I'm thinking that the Blue Jays, like, we're feeling good, eh? Like, it just feels like the atmosphere in the air, the aura, right? I saw somebody in the chat saying, never been more hype on a day that we lost, you know? Doesn't it feel that way? Because it even felt like today, we very easily could have won that one, too, you know? Like, we were right there the whole game. We make this big trade. People are feeling hype. We're at home against these Orioles. Baltimore, I have the utmost respect for your team, for your city, and for what you were capable of accomplishing this year. It has been phenomenal. Blue Jays win 3 out of 4.
Dang, oh, there we go. Big prediction. I got to go with the modest 2-2 just because so far this season, we are 1-6 against the Baltimore Orioles. So, like, we haven't figured them out this year. We have Ryu. What are we going to get? You know, I do love Kikuchi and Gausman. They've been doing well as of late. Bassett, wild card kind of game. You know, they are coming in. They're the #1 team. If we can go 2-2, that is totally okay with me. Look, we're just looking for a playoff spot at this point.
Yeah.
Going for the division, that's like we need a 3-4 or even a hell. Like if we get a sweep, that would change this team.
This for me is less about the division though, and this is more of a statement because at some point or another, you're right, that 1-6 record against Baltimore, and frankly against the American League East as a whole, right? You have to, as a team, prove to yourself that you can beat these guys.
Absolutely.
And I want to know that we can before we get to playoffs. Because can you imagine, right? You're walking into a series, you're up against the Orioles, or you're up against the Rays, and your season-long record is, 5-13, or
you're not going to be the favorites. You're not going to be the favorites.
Exactly.
You have to prove.
I don't want that. I want to know right now when we're at home after a big trade, and I assume a few more trades from the trade deadline, that we can absolutely beat these dudes. So honestly, maybe it's wishful thinking. 3 out of 4 over Baltimore.
All right, let's go. Going into Friday, we got to fly over to the East Coast. Boston Red Sox. We got a 7 o'clock game against them at Fenway Park. Now, same thing. We have not beaten Boston once this year.
Yeah.
We're 0-7 against the Red Sox, and we're back in Fenway Park where it all started. We got Alek Manoah. There might be some shuffling, but so far we got a 6-man rotation. Alek Manoah, he's going up against Paxton, who's got a 3.34 ERA. Jose Berrios back on the mound. He did pretty darn solid. Up against, I don't even know who this guy is, Bernardino? I don't even know. He's going to be pitching against us. And then Bassett versus question marks, yet to be announced. Boston Red Sox rotation is going through a lot of changes right now. Maybe they add a guy to fill in that spot, but we're at Fenway Park. 3 games. What's your prediction?
Again, a tough series because Boston, they have been a thorn in our side, man. Have we even won a game against them yet?
No, we have not.
I think we are 0-7 against the Boston Red Sox. Like, come on, dude.
I know.
They're getting revenge after last season when the Blue Jays absolutely delivered it to them all season long. And they're taking that revenge and just shoving it in our faces. I am going to be a little bit more conservative on this one, even though I'm feeling hype. I know that the atmosphere is good. I'm thinking that we do only take one in Boston. That would still make the week in my prediction 4-3.
Oh, yeah.
I will take that all day, every day against your American League East rivals.
Absolutely. Hey, a 4-3, that's a statement week. You talked about statements. That's a statement week against the AL East because that's the whole narrative, folks. Circled it on the calendar. I knew this was going to be a big test after the trade deadline for these Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah.
I'm also going 1-2 against them just because, hey, if you can win one game against the Boston Red Sox, yeah, you proved something there.
At this point, like, anything is good, you know. I don't know what it is, man, but apparently Fenway Park, like, we just can't seem to play
jerseys,
over there.
no idea.
Cannot seem to play over there. This series, this week, all of that changes, everybody. So yeah, big week coming up for the Toronto Blue Jays. If you guys weren't already aware, we're going to be live for at least one of the games this week. We're also going to be live for the entire trade deadline tomorrow evening. We're going to be live for multiple hours, and then on Tuesday, legitimately the whole day, we are going to be live from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. watching the trade deadline unfold. Obviously, we don't expect you guys to be with us for the whole time, but you know what? It would mean a lot to the boys if you came in, you stopped in, you dropped a like, you know, you said something about what's going on, and you know, we'll just be carrying on, giving you all of the stuff, all of the news. Any final thoughts about the trade before we get into our final segment of the show?
I think, look, we needed a back end closer. My top 3 in my mind did include Jordan Hicks. Even though not having the greatest year, you know he's got potential. He's a flamethrower that we've been screaming all offseason. We finally got. We addressed that bullpen need. You could have gotten Bednar. You could have gotten Hader, but those are some pretty tough tickets to get. But Hicks, great, third option for the Toronto Blue Jays. You got rid of Mitch White. You cleaned up the garbage. This overall, even though you gave up your 7th-ranked prospect, this cleans up the bullpen for this year. And I think doing a move like this increases your chances to competing and actually winning an ALDS series. When you got to play matchups, we finally have the capability with Cabrera, now with the left-hander, if he continues his good pitching into the postseason. You got a second lefty there. You got the flamethrower in Hicks. Hey, Nate Pearson, he's not in right now projected to be in that bullpen, but if he can come back and be another flamethrower, that'd be great. He's another option. Now you have depth in your minor league system. This just secures it for me, secures that bullpen. I love it. What about you?
And as far as I'm concerned too, man, I'm like, you're saying, yes, we gave up our 7th-ranked prospect. If you think about it, if you can give up your 7th-ranked prospect for an impact player that will help us in the postseason and on our ride to the postseason, I don't care. Sam Roberts, as nice as he is, he might not ever become anything at all.
Exactly.
We are in a position this season, right now, today, to win with this team. This feels like the year that we have got to go further than the wild card and the divisional and all that stuff, right? This feels like a different aura right now. And I know we say that every single season.
Yeah, we do.
But it really does right now, How many years are you going to have Guerrero and Bichette and playing at this caliber, right? You have to buy in with this team, with this core right now. Sam Roberts, go kick ass in St. Louis. Jordan Hicks is our guy now.
Absolutely. Guys, really quick shout out as we transition to our next section to the sponsor of this video.
Whoa! Time for your daily Betway breather. A quick reminder that the best place to bet is on Betway. Must be 19 years of age or older to play. In collaboration with iGaming Ontario, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
Fortune, baseball, colorful, future determining, stat analyzing, and it's a wheel that we spin every week.
It is, in fact, a wheel that we spin every single week, everybody. For the 430 people watching right now, guys, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so then you can comment along in the chat with us and play this game. What happened in the past week?
Well, we split the series, which is something I don't need. I'm down by a bunch right now, down by at least 4 sweeps. Yeah, ERA, Gosman and Burrios had really great weeks, but Gosman just a little bit better. I think it was like a 1.5 versus his 1.7. Like it was close. Chapman with the RBI. I think it was Chapman. RBI. No, I think they tied. Chapman and Vladdy both had 2. Yeah, and then Springer only had 2 walks. Vladdy had 5. So Springer was having a rough week. So
yeah, Springer. I did not get Springer on the right week.
Not
man.
the right week.
Definitely not the week to be picking George Springer. This is going to be your week though, Adam. And again, like we're getting to that place where.
Gotta start sweeping, bro.
Yeah, you do need to start sweeping for sure. Because, yeah, splits like that don't help you at all.
Help you, bro.
Let's spin this thing and see what it's going to be. And I have not spun a bonus player for myself yet, but I continue to do it for Adam. So
Let's go.
It's probably going to happen again this week, I would imagine.
Go. Oh, it's going to pass it, though. Who we got coming up here? Oh, it's still going. We got home runs.
Home runs. Exciting statistic. Everybody in the chat right now, who is your selection for Toronto Blue Jay for the most home runs this week?
All right, well, I'll let you go. I mean, it's pretty much a toss-up. Any Blue Jay can get a home run, so you go for it. Go ahead,
bro.
buddy.
Do I go absolutely crazy insane mode with Danny Jansen here? Like, do I actually top 5 in slugging?
Yeah, hey,
the stats don't lie.
For those who don't know, last 162 games, Danny Jansen is up there in slugging against the biggest names: Alvarez, Ohtani, Judge. He's top 5.
Literally
crazy.
No, I mean he has actually been phenomenal with the bombs, and people in the chat are calling for it right now. I mean Guerrero didn't have one this week. I mean doesn't really matter, you know.
Yeah.
I mean Bo Bichette though, he did hit like 480.
Yeah,
right?
literally.
Like 480.
And he had a bomb in there. Chapman had 2 bombs. Yeah, Danny with 2 bombs. Yeah.
You know, it's tough to kind of go against somebody hitting 480. Even in, like that's a pretty good thing right there. Screw it, I'll take Bo Bichette, man. I was very close to picking Danny Jansen.
Oh, I know. I want to pick Danny Jansen, but again, it's the playing time. You don't know.
I mean, the stats don't lie though, right? Like we've been selling it. Like I was at the chat is calling for Jan.
I know. People are even saying Whit, but Whit doesn't really hit that many bombs, guys. Can't be doing that. Honestly, for me, it's either like a Chapman or a Guerrero. Guerrero can pop one off from time to time. Chapman is starting to heat up a little bit with the slug. I've been noticing each and every week he's popping off with a home run here and there. Honestly, for me, I think I'm going to go Matt Chapman, to be honest. I feel going to turn a corner and get that power back to where it was.
Okay, yeah, he got one this week, right?
He got 2 this week.
He got two home runs this week. Yeah. Okay, there you have it, guys. I know a lot of people are calling for Danny.
I can't do it.
As an honorable mention, let's just keep track of Danny's home runs.
I know, right?
We'll see if he actually does come up clutch this week. And we're getting bonus player.
We're going to get Worst Jay.
I love it, dude. Worst Jay might be my favorite one because I have no idea, man.
Oh, boy.
Couldn't tell you.
Let's pull up the stats here. Actually, let's see, folks.
And just so you guys know, the way that we like to operate with Worst Jay is Adam's going to go first here.
Yeah,
so if he picks a batter, I'm forced to pick a batter. If he picks a pitcher, I'm forced to pick a pitcher. So regardless of how it goes, I mean, that's what it's going to be.
So they need at least 15 ABs, 7-game weeks. So a lot of guys are going to get a lot of opportunities. Part of me actually wants to pick Brandon Belt because he's been slumping so bad. Kevin's not going to get the playing time. Espinal's a hit or miss. I think just Brandon Belt's on this slump week. You got guys who are hotter. I'm going to go Brandon Belt.
Okay, Adam is going with Brandon Belt on that one. After you're done, pull up the statistics again so I can take a look. I mean, obviously, if he got more playing time, Biggio's the clear selection.
Right.
Biggio's the clear selection. I think there's 2 big choices here for me. And it's either between George Springer or Dalton Varsho.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's either George Springer or Dalton Varsho for me. George Springer was obviously, he would have won the category this past week because he was absolutely atrocious.
Honestly, I missed that. You got to go Dalton Varsho.
I don't know, man. Varsho or Springer. Both of them are really sucking. I'm going to let the chat decide for me right now, guys. Varsho or Springer, folks. Let me put it in the chat really quick. We're gonna make this a quick poll. The second that we get to 50 votes, I will go, okay? Who will be worse? Springer or Varsho. Whoever you guys select, I will pick it. Okay, you guys let me know. The poll is up right now, folks.
A lot of people saying Varsho.
Springer was horrible this past week. Varsho's been horrible this whole season. So,
let's see.
62 at Varsho, 37 votes. It's coming down the wire.
Oh,
wow, it's really coming down the wire. 45 votes in, 47 votes in.
It looks like it's gonna be Varsho.
And it is gonna be Varsho. All right, give me Dalton Varsho, man.
I completely missed that. I wasn't even thinking about Dalton Varsho. I was just looking at the straight up average of Belt and how ass he's been. That's all I was looking at. You might even get the playing time this week.
Yeah, we'll see, man. So, Dalton Varsho, I'm pretty happy with that selection. Whenever you can take Varsho for worst, Jay, you're loving life. Final category, everybody. What's it gonna be? If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so, guys. If we get to 15.5k subs, let us know.
And it's gonna be bonus player.
It is. I do it every week. I don't know how. I have no idea how.
All right, so I get one, and then you pick the second. I pick the third. Let's see what happens.
That's what it's gonna be, everybody. That is what it's gonna be.
It's gonna be RBIs for those Jays.
Right there.
Whit Merrifield had 7. He's leadoff. That's the one thing. But I think I'm gonna pick a solid one here, which is I am saying Chapman's gonna hit the homers. Chapman did have how many RBIs? He had 2. I gotta go with this. I gotta go with Bo Bichette, man. I just have to go. I gotta start picking some of you off of you. I have to. He just drives in all the runs.
That's fair. If he's gonna do it, I just hope he hits home runs this week.
Yeah, we'll see. That's the thing, right? Like if he was hitting just double singles, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, is Guerrero gonna be good at baseball this week? That's always the question. That is always the question. I'm thinking like, you know, I do now that Witt's now batting leadoff. You know, I would actually have picked Witt if he was like 5th or 6th in the lineup. But now that he's batting leadoff, I'm not as confident.
Danny had 5.
Well, I mean, if we're not going to pick him for home runs, can't be picking him for RBIs either. So I am going to go with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and hope for the best on that one.
All right,
we're going to hope for the best.
I'm going to go because I got to pick also Chapman. I mean, he's got to be driving in people. Best thing, like Witt's gonna get his hits. You know what I mean? It all depends on the bottom of the lineup. Like, you had the catchers really popping off this week, right? Like, if someone's
a lot of people are saying Kirk right now.
I know, Kirk. People saying Kirk. You know, if I'm picking Chapman, I gotta also just pick Chapman again. If I'm picking him for home runs, I gotta pick him here for the RBIs.
That's reasonable. You're kind of all in on that Chapman.
Yeah, Chapman. I feel him. He's feeling it.
Okay, everybody. So those are the categories and our selections for the Blue Jays Today show. Everybody, you comment down below your thoughts on our selections, what you would have done differently and everything like that. Please, if you haven't already done so, like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and mark it in your agenda for tomorrow. Blue Jays Today, live. I'm going to assume it's going to be around 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Something like that.
Something around that time. We're going to be live. We're going to be going for several hours tomorrow night, just enjoying the trade deadline. And then all of Tuesday, guys, lock it in. Stop in. Say hello. Give us your trade predictions, folks. It's going to be a phenomenal next 48 hours for MLB, for the Toronto Blue Jays, and for this Blue Jays Today community, which is just growing every day and is fucking awesome, let me just say.
On that note, guys, hit that like button on your way out. And if you haven't already, guys, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button so you can be staying up to date with when we're going live, when we're posting shorts, etc., etc. You don't want to miss a thing.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody!
And go Jays, go! Let's go! Jordan Hicks!
Jordan Hicks, baby!
Yeah, pew, pew, pew.